what the Ruben said is so beautiful, bruh. He said, "So it's come to this, sister love. You had your blooming in the nose and the whip of the whirlwind." He loved that poem. Like he loved. I could tell he loves that poem. He loves Gwendolyn Brooks. I know he does. Cause he references it a lot about the whirlwind. I'm not doing good, man. At all. I'm gonna be so for real. I'm not, bro. I'm not, dog. Like I was trying so hard to keep it together in class today, dog. No bullshit. I wrote on Twitter. I don't feel like going to class, bro. I dead was like, bro, I'm not going to class today, bro. And I'm like, bro, fuck it. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up. Like, I'm gonna get up, man. Cause cause I woke up. So like, I'm gonna tell y'all the whole story. I'm gonna tell y'all the whole story. So thank you. So what ends up happening is, I think you was on that live last night with me and Sean, and I was like, hey, cuz, I'm like, has Assata passed? And he was like, no. He was like, man, don't believe that. He was like, man, that's still fake, dog. He was like, we ain't got no confirmation. I'm like, man, I'm praying, dog. Because I just kept, because what I had seen was, I seen Cleo post something last night. And was like, long live Assata Shakur. I was like, what? Because I know people on her birthday were thinking she passed on her birthday. And I'm like, take that down, bro. And that's why I made a tweet. I can take y'all through the whole. Hold up, bro. I can take it. We finna open up Twitter. I'm not trying to. I'm not. Today is not the day for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. And so I take y'all through the whole thing, bro. And what I hate is her family wasn't even allowed. Like her daughter wasn't even allowed to break it, bro. Straight up, wasn't allowed to break it. Motherfuckers was too quick to come to the internet with this shit, bro. That shit pisses me off, bro. Okay, good. Here we is. So this is why, cause it kept saying unverified claims, bro. So this is when it first broke to me. I said, Assata not dead, bro. Stop playing, dog. Niggas is having a loser off right now. And this is when I woke up this morning, bro. I don't want to go to class today, bro. I straight said that. I don't want to go to class today, bro. And bro, I'm just seeing so many liberals, bro. Like this, bro. I mentioned this in my video, bro. Cause I had woke up, I had text. So yeah, this is another thing that happened. We just gonna go to Still Black, Still Strong. So I had text Gray. Yeah, we in the age of AI and some more shit. I had text Gray and I was like, hey Gray, I'm hearing rumors of Sada passed. I'm trying to see if it's real because if anybody that it's like that's gonna know, it's gonna be Gray. Gray is Daruba's mentee, so it's like, yeah. So I asked Gray, and Gray was like, nah, Daruba ain't confirmed it yet. And then I'm like, all right. It was Daruba and somebody else. Gray had told me. They slip in my mind. Hold up. Margaret Kimberly. Daruba's like, Daruba and Margaret Kimberly hadn't confirmed it with Gray yet. I'm like, anybody gonna know? It's gonna be Daruba. Anybody in this world, you know what I'm saying, that I'm in close contact with, that would know, it'll be Daruba. Or if I'm one person away, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he used TikTok, so it's not like I can text him. But yeah, I'm like that I woke up to that this morning. So I opened up Twitter. I'm still seeing RP aside. I'm like, fuck what everybody else talking about. I'm not believing this shit until one of the members of the BLA say some shit or her family. Until I see something from her daughter or Daruba, I'm not believing shit. You know what I'm saying? Because people be too thirsty to hop on shit. So that's when I saw the statement from our daughter. I was like, man, passed away at 115 in Cuba. I was like, damn, man. You know what I'm saying? It hit me. I ain't gonna lie, I broke down. I ain't gonna lie. It hit me. I was like, God damn, bro. It's just reflecting. Cause I wrote her something on my birthday. On her birthday, I mean. When's her birthday? Damn, cuz they don't got her birthday on her. July 16th. I was finna say, they don't got her birthday? That's odd. Because I know they don't got Daruba actual birthday. When you look them up. Let's go to my archive. Let's see if it stays in my archive. And it's just like a hole. I'm not gonna lie, it's a gaping hole that I feel. You feel me? Like that's that. Yeah, yeah. I said this on July 16th on her birthday. I said no bullshit. Assata Shakur is dead. Top three of my radicalization process is undoubtedly top three of my favorite black radicals of all time. Reading her autobiography was transformative in me procuring my current politic and political stances. Her story is not only courageous but inspiring to the way she is a living example of black people's fight for liberation. She's also the center of a lot of the culture. Happy birthday, Assata. That's what I wrote on her birthday. So it's like I'm tired of people hopping on the fucking bandwagon, bro. Like I'm so tired of that shit. I mentioned that in my video. It's just over TikTok. I mentioned that shit. I'm tired of niggas hopping on the bandwagon when one of the elders goes, bro. Now everybody loves the elders, but when we tell y'all the things that they taught us, y'all tell us to shut the fuck up. It be incompatible, dog. It be incompatible, and it's seeing people sanitize her in real time. You got motherfuckers calling her an anti-racist activist, bro. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? People's like, bro, anti-racist activists and freedom, like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Bro, fuck y'all, bro. For real, bro. The People's Forum NYC, bro. I don't even know y'all, but like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Like, nah, dog. Nah, dog. Now let me chill, bro. But yeah, bro. I was trying to like my first class, I was able to hold it together. Fairly simple. I was able to distract myself in my first class. My second class, bro, it just after listening, I'm gonna play something for my auntie. Samaya, I'm gonna let y'all listen to this. I was able to talk to one of my professors. I'm still waiting to talk to one of them. I'm probably gonna talk to him Monday about this shit because talk about it every day.
Mantra on my lips whenever someone inquires about how I... You do not know my name, but yours became like a repeated mantra on my lips whenever someone inquires about how I became the woman I am today. You gave me a gift that didn't require you knowing my address, my name, or my personal struggle, yet your words, your politics, your praxis felt handcrafted just for me to learn what I need to. You left me with something despite never knowing that a young black woman relies on you heavily to continue to show her the way. I refuted you not physically being here any longer, breathing the same air, albeit in a different country than I, because what does it mean to grieve someone that has helped shape you when they never even knew you? I've dreaded this day when the call, the headline, or notification would tell me you had become an ancestor. You evaded capture, the state never being able to claim you in the way they wish they could. Is that not what those of us forever marked as slave yearn for? Always eluding the master, intent on putting chains on us once again? Every moment you breathed outside of their grasp, we celebrated. Your last breath was taken as a free woman, free from the indoctrination, free from the cell, free from the colonial captors that seek to claim us all. When I run towards freedom, I look towards you. When they ask who leads me down this path, I'll tell them about you. We may have lost you as an elder, but what a relief to know that we forever have you as an ancestor. You transitioning came to my knowledge while I was reading Lose Your Mother, and how frustratingly fitting, since in this moment I feel like I have lost someone that feels like kin, like family, like we shared the same blood, the same way I know we shared the same struggle. You not
Actual
here, but I
radical
still
is
feel
funny.
you here.
It's really
You gone,
unexplainable
but not far
what the
away.
fuck just
You
happened. You
speaking,
know what
and
I'm
I'm
saying?
still listening.
Emotional
They called you a
spiritual.
fugitive, but I knew you was always running towards liberation. They called you a terrorist, but I knew that your type of terror was one I hoped to embody. They called you a wanted woman, but whole time, you was a free woman, Assata.
You feel me? But what did I just say I was gonna do? Oh, here we go. That's what Deruba posted. I'm like, man, y'all finna make me tear up in this motherfucker. It's what Deruba posted. So it has come to this, sister love. You had your blooming in the nose and the whip of the whirlwind. And should we look for you there now, in this place, in this time you are gone? To some, it may seem like you were the last of a loud generation, but it was never over. When the shouting stopped and the greed turned black leadership by victimhood into pleading for retributive justice, pleas that fell on deaf ears and ridicule with racist platitudes, still your story will be told, or just whispered. Never compromise, the story goes. We are only damned when we don't resist and get even. Man. I want to wait till Lucas get here, Cam, to do to read Still Black, Still Strong. Not gonna lie. Man, what the fuck? Why do I automatically go to homeowners insurance, bro? You know you got news sites calling her a convicted felon. Like, bro, we dead ass. Out of her whole life,
Homeownership is often considered the cornerstone.
y'all want to reduce her to a fucking convicted felon, bro. I'm tired of this shit, bro. I'm tired of this shit, bro. And you know the greatest thing about this picture, that gray top, this picture is in Cuba. Deruba don't give a fuck. This picture in Cuba. That's all I'm gonna say. CBS. I ain't even looking at that shit. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I just got sense of Philly, like local media, because if I'm not mistaken, she did hide out in Philly. Bro, all national liberal media right now, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I can't look at that shit right now. You see the Jarrell music I see?
Fugitives from U.S. authorities has been living for the past several years. Assata Shakur, also known as Joanne Chesimard, convicted and sentenced in the 1973 slaying of a New Jersey state trooper. 2 years into that prison sentence, she broke out of prison, eluded a massive police dragnet, and somehow got here to Cuba, where she's been granted political asylum. But even before that terrible shooting incident, Assata was being watched by police because of her deep involvement in the radical fringe of the civil rights era of the 1960s.
The radical fringe. What they call these people be cracking me up, bro. The radical fringe elements of the civil rights movement. Right.
She was a member of the Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army. Yet, her beginnings were far from radical. Attended a mostly white public school in Flushing, Queens. Attended a Catholic high school. Went out and got a job. Then enrolled in a community college to enhance her earning power. Now, up to this point, most anyone would say, so far, so good. Then she became radicalized, and after 2 tumultuous decades, ends up here in Cuba with U.S. authorities itching to get to her. How did this woman move to this from such modest beginnings? In this 90-minute special edition, you'll see our exclusive interview with Ms. Shakur in Cuba, followed by a discussion about Ms. Shakur with persons who were also active in the black struggle of that period, although in different ways. We'll get started.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is at Howard talking about black excellence. She can actually go fuck herself, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I don't view her any different than Trump, dog. I straight don't. She's so fucking spineless, bro. Now motherfuckers want to be at Howard. Motherfucker said anytime she feel bad about herself, that's where she pull up. At this point, because motherfuckers just put the pressure on you at that book shit, bro. Man, fuck that book, bro. Man, fuck that book, bro.
In just a moment.
I just saw she got her other protection revoked from California. Cause I'm like, God damn.
During our short stay in Havana. At the site of the old fort overlooking Havana's main harbor that offers...
That's another thing about the Caribbean. From when I went down there. Yeah, fuck that weak ass book, bro. But that's another thing. I went down to the Caribbean. I went down to the Bahamas. I never went to Cuba. But from going to the Bahamas, seeing how they got all the old like colonial forts and shit, and you like, damn. It's just one of those things you can't put into words, like actually going to these places.
There's a commanding view of Havana's waterfront and on the campus of the University of Havana. Over a period of several days, she unwound her story that we have edited for continuity. She told us that her given name was Joanne.
He's unforeseen. I'd never see the baby picture. She was such a gorgeous baby.
Deborah Byron, and as stated, her early life was pretty much average, right through her late...
Never before. I ain't never seen these photos, man. I've never
Deborah
seen
Byron, and as stated, her early life was pretty much average, right through her late teens, where she graduated from high school and got a job. But then she enrolled in college and underwent a major change here.
I was in Manhattan Community College about maybe 2 weeks before I discovered the Golden Drum Society, which was the black organization on campus. And it was like an awakening. Here were these black people, and they were talking about dashikis in Africa and the richness of Africa. And I was like, huh? You know, I had just come out of this office mentality.
I remember Daruba saying something. I remember Daruba saying this. I don't know if he was watching on stream. I don't know if I was watching my damn self. But he was talking about Cuba, and he was like, the second y'all give up Assata, that's the second y'all betray our revolution. That shit stuck with me, because he's not wrong. The second they do that, that's the second they're still in a state of revolution, even though they've had to make concessions. Oh, man. As I look up at my Che Guevara flag.
You know, feeling like a servant and feeling that was my role to, you know, type the papers. And and I went back to school basically so I could make more money. That was really why I went back. I didn't go back with any desire to learn or to explore. I went back to survive. And when I got there and I saw that there was that life was way beyond the file cabinets and the typewriters, that there was more, and that here were these black people who were into studying, who were into just talking about what was happening, talking about the war, talking about talking about what all of this meant, trying to analyze it with a kind of energy that was good, that was strong, that was rich, and I just got into it. I mean, it just was like sucked me in like a vacuum cleaner. I was there and it was good. It made me feel alive.
We're talking about the civil rights era of the 1960s now, where the black struggle against injustice was in full swing. The old order of segregation and bias was being subjected to a massive and varied challenge. Dr. King's tactics of passive resistance were viewed as radical.
Man, this would be the thing, bro. it's so much overlap with them too, and it was gonna be so much overlap if they would have let people like King stay alive, because I don't think King was gonna join the West Coast chapter, but according to Bobby Seale, King was on the trajectory to join the Black Panther Party. Motherfucker, Dr. King, Kwame Ture, oh my god, oh my god. Now imagine, because Malcolm is one of the main inspirations behind them. You know what I'm saying? Look like we gotta think of that shit. Like they had to. They couldn't let it happen. It was too dangerous.
At the time. And then black students formed their own faction, which was similar to Dr. King's approach initially, with the special aggressive energy of youth.
We were the troops. We were the people who went to Selma 2 years before Dr. King ever saw that town. We were the people who went into rural Mississippi when the NAACP told us it was too dangerous, that you had to attack Mississippi from the outside, not from the inside. We were the people who, working for $10 a week, went all over the rural South in extremely dangerous circumstances, risking life and limb, going to jail, being beaten, harassed by policemen, not eating right, not having any clothes to wear. And I think, without trying to be too modest, that we were the glue that held all of this movement together. Dr. King was the articulator and the spokesman. The SCLC workers became the instant organizers, go into a town, spend a couple of weeks, stir up emotion and passion, bring in Dr. King, makes a speech, have a march, out the next day. We were there for the long haul.
There was the NAACP fighting the battle through the courts, the Urban League fighting the fight with corporate America, and a host of other civil rights groups.
The thing that influenced me the most was history, reading and understanding that black people struggled in history from Africa all the way up to the time that I was living in. It was not a process where people were enslaved and went through that whole thing as victims, that our people had a long, rich, strong history, an intellectual history, a history of struggling from taking over slave ships to strikes, to building organizations, and that was a history that was not just a matter of George Washington Carver inventing things with peanuts. And I don't mean to push him down, because I think he made a great contribution, but I'm saying that that was all that I had learned before that. The only figure who had stood out was Harriet Tubman, you know, and it was Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver,
I'm back.
and Booker T. Washington. That was my whole concept, my whole understanding of black history up until that time. And I really thought that Lincoln freed the slaves. I really thought that the Civil...
Yeah, bro. This the indoctrinated history that they gonna teach you, bro. What was I gonna say? Like, I remember growing up and thinking, Abe Lincoln, yay, no. Like, Abe Lincoln was the way that they have the message of Abraham Lincoln is just white supremacist in itself. Hold up, bro. I'm about to see if I can find it. That nigga Obama, man, that's what I'm saying, man. Fuck Obama, bro. He doubled the bounty and still, like, what the fuck is you doing, bro? You didn't pardon her or nothing. You doubled the fucking bounty, bro. Like, you was a fucking coon, dog. Like, bro, look at this shit, bro. If this shit is not white supremacist, bro, I don't know what the fuck this is, bro. I don't know what the fuck this is, bro. The black man is in submission to the endearing, infallible white patriarch. Like, what the fuck is this shit, bro? You feel me? Like, this is a semblance of white supremacy in itself. This just represents America, really. With emancipation. Woo! I fucking hate this.
The war was fought for slavery, and when I started to see the real picture of what happened to us as a people and really started to analyze what American history was all about, I began to look at things in a whole nother way and to see that, you know, it was a systemized, that this place called America had, the U.S. of A. had systematically wiped out Indians, had systematically enslaved black people, and then after slavery was officially abolished, that the oppression didn't end. It just changed form.
Joanne, as she was then known, underwent an awakening that thousands of young Americans, black and white, underwent at the time. As she became more informed, she became a highly charged young person. The next logical step was to become active.
We formed a Third World Coalition, and we ran for, in the student council elections. I was one of the student representatives.
So
that was one part of it. And then I started to be one, to just participate in demonstrations, whether anything. If it, you know, I mean, we would just get these groups, and if somebody's got is got a strike on 116th Street, and the whole pile of us would just go and we'd help the people that were on strike, or we'd and we supported all kinds of things, from construction workers who were struggling to break that racist structure.
Fight back.
Fight back. We did housing stuff. We participated in housing demonstrations and struggles around Morningside Heights. There were welfare strikes. There were, not strikes, but welfare movements and rallies. And there was the anti-war movement, which was an important phase in my development, because I began to understand not just what was going on in the States as something that just stayed in the States, but that the kind of homegrown oppression that black people and third world people in the U.S. experienced was being exported, and was exported to Vietnam, was exported to Central America, that was exported to Africa, that this was all part and parcel of the same ballgame, the same deal. That it was like a kind of concerted effort to just, you know, maintain a status quo that kept a small group of people in the jet set and a huge number of people in a state of perpetual crash, a perpetual hunger, a perpetual unemployment, a perpetual misery. And I don't say that I got all of that together at that time in one piece, but it started to really change my picture of the world.
The student faction of the movement was now moving beyond desegregating lunch counters and public facilities. They were now challenging this nation's political process. For example, by attempting to include blacks in the Mississippi delegation to the Democratic National Convention in Atlantic City in 1964. Young people were challenging U.S. businesses operating in black areas. The challenge was to give jobs to blacks and ancillary business to blacks. Operation Breadbasket had heavy student involvement, and young Jesse Jackson headed up the Chicago chapter and began attracting media attention.
We're militarily occupied by white police. The economic order is controlled by the whites. The chain stores, the private stores.
I hate this nigga, bro.
We are colonized people. That's the real.
This motherfucker's a slick fed, bro. Ooh, this nigga's an FBI agent, bro. We are a colonized people. 10 years later, this nigga ran as a Democrat.
Violence to us. By the time you see riots, which is considered violence in the streets, that is a reaction, that is a consequence to the causes of the deeper violence done upon our persons every day that we exist.
Assata expanded her scope of activities in the civil rights movement beyond her campus affiliations.
And at that time it was easy because there was so much activity going on. I mean, in the black community there was so much happening, you know, each day. You could plug into something, you could check something out. Sure. And what I did at first was really try to check out different organizations. I checked out Garvey organizations. I checked out so many little community organizations looking for, you know, a way that I could contribute and looking for some way to participate in our struggle on a long-term basis.
Assata went on to tell me that she shopped around for an activist organization to join and selected one of the most radical, as you'll learn in a moment. Some quarters encountered countless incidents of brutal white resistance.
What you're really trying to do is intimidate these people, and by making them stand in the raid, keep them from registering to vote. And this is a kind of violation of the Constitution, the violation of the court order, the violation of decent citizenship. You can turn your back on me, but you cannot turn your back upon the idea of justice. Beat us? Get out of here. You don't have to beat us, arrest us. Get out, arrest us if we're wrong, don't beat us. If we're wrong, arrest us, but don't beat us. Stand up.
Some in the North began saying that it wasn't fair to ask black people not to defend themselves when attacked.
We are faced with a racialistic society, a society in which they are deceitful, deceptive, and the only way we can bring about a change is to talk the kind of language, speak the language that they understand. The racialist never understands a peaceful language. The racialist never understands the nonviolent language. The racialist, he's spoken his language to us for 400 years. We have been the victim of his brutality. We are the ones who face his dogs that tear the flesh from our limbs. Only because...
You hear niggas say, I'm like Malcolm. And then go vote. Like, this is what I'm saying, bro. And then go fucking vote for fucking Obama, bro. Like, get the fuck out of my face, bro. Like, bro. It takes 10 minutes to listen to any of their speeches. To see their politics, see where they're coming from, be like, yeah, they're not lying.
Because we want to enforce the Supreme Court decision. We are the ones who have our skulls crushed, not by the Ku Klux Klan, but by policemen. Only because we want to enforce what they call the Supreme Court decision.
Motherfuckers pro-police and shit. Like, motherfuckers is a cop. Kamala Harris is a cop. God damn.
We are the ones upon whom water hoses are turned.
You don't think black police officers existed during this time, my nigga?
With pressure so hard that it rips the clothes from our back.
And I be telling people about that. People don't understand firefighters as, you know what I'm saying, agents of the state. Because I remember, it wasn't firefighters, I'm talking about ambulance drivers. I'm like, anybody who's deputized by the state to do shit, you know what I'm saying, like this, is, you know what I'm saying, a form of policing. She was like, I'm an ambulance worker, and I have to, you know what I'm saying, is that a form of policing? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Elijah McClain. Yeah.
Men, but the clothes from the backs of women and children, you've seen it yourself, only because we want to enforce what they call the law. Well, anytime you live in a society supposedly based upon law, and it doesn't enforce its own law because the color of...
Man, we got a fucking pedophile in the office, bro. The law of this country is warped. The law and order of this state is warped.
If a man's skin happens to be wrong, then I say those people are justified to resort to any means necessary to bring about justice where the government can't give them justice.
The struggle for inclusion of Mississippi blacks in the political process at the Democratic National Convention was rebuffed. And Mississippi police in many instances exacted heavy reprisals against some blacks who had engaged in that struggle.
He said, "You're from rural." And he called me an awful name. And he said, "Get up, fatso, and we gonna make you wish you was dead." And I was led out of that cell and
they sterilized Fannie Lou Hamer, if I'm not mistaken. Sterilized her, gave her involuntary
another.
And motherfuckers believe I'm supposed to trust the state. Motherfucker, please.
Cell where they had 2 black prisoners. The state highway patrolman gave the first black prisoner a blackjack, and it was loaded with some kind of metal. And he ordered me to lay down on my face.
Angle right.
State highway patrolman did.
That should be
the prisoner asked him, said, "Do you want me to beat this woman with this?" And he told him, say, "You damn right. If you don't beat her, say, you know what we'll do for you." So the first prisoner, started beating. And I was really...
So it's like, this is what I'm saying. I think people need to actually realize how bad our radical elders were violated by the state to understand what the colonial state does to our people. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people have faith in this state, and when I hear stories like this, it's like, man, fuck this shit, dog.
Beaten because he had to do what they told him to do.
From there, when we came back to Mississippi, SNCC had a staff meeting. It had to decide clearly. The organization was at a juncture. We certainly couldn't follow this because we couldn't come back to the people and tell them try again next 4 years to be seated in the Democratic Party. We certainly couldn't do that. We couldn't do that. So we had to find new approaches. There was only one. Organize the people into their own independent political party. Struggle for the right to vote, get the right to vote, coalesce the political power, use this political power to move to make economic gains for the people, fight against the Democratic Party. That was all. But so while I went alone, I had the support of a lot of our brothers and sisters who took this position and political power to move to make economic gains for the people, fight against the Democratic Party.
I can't, bro. I was still listening. I can't, bro. The fuck? This struggle against both Dems and Republicans is something that's decades old.
That was all. But so while I went alone, I had the support of a lot of our brothers and sisters who took this position and recognized that inside of SNCC, some people were trying to make sure that the project was a failure. So we had to fight inside of SNCC against those who were trying to make it a failure. We had to fight against the Democratic Party, which did everything possible to sabotage it. We had to fight against Wallace. We had to fight against the Ku Klux Klan. We had to fight against all the liberals who were once liberals, but now were telling us, don't get out the Democratic Party. This is the stupidest thing you could do.
I'm finna scream. I'm finna fucking scream. Let's re-listen to this shit.
We had to fight against Wallace. We had to fight against the Ku Klux Klan. We had to fight against all the liberals who were once liberals, but now were telling us, don't get out the Democratic Party. This is the stupidest thing you could do. And who did everything possible, and though they tried, they crushed, they did everything they could to stop the people. They organized an independent political party, and they gave it the symbol of the Black Panther.
I joined the Black Panther Party. That was what I decided to do, and I thought that was important.
Well, now, there are those, if they had the opportunity to talk with you, might say, well, my heavens, why wouldn't you pick the NAA or SNCC or...
NAACP, by this time, most people don't know, and even today, it's largely detached from everyday black people. We actually just talked about this shit in class.
CORE or the League, Urban League, or why go for the Black Panther Party? What was it about the Panthers that drew you?
Well, I think, first of all, because I had already, by the time I joined the Black Panther Party, I had already begun to see that it was not a question of reform, that I basically had come to the conclusion that on every level, the U.S. government was an oppressive system run by and for rich people, and that there was no way that that was going to change because the whole system was based on oppression. That was how I felt, so that I was not interested in joining an organization that was interested in reforms, that was struggling for reforms. I wanted to join an organization, number one, that believed that the whole thing had to be changed, because that was what I believed. Number two, the Black Panther Party...
Not reformed, but replaced.
Yeah, that a complete change, which is a revolution, had to occur, that you could not be free under a system based on racism, based on oppression, based...
It's almost like niggas don't be saying the same shit to this day. It's like I be having two different conversations with a lot of y'all niggas. I have conversations about liberation. I don't have conversations about fucking reform. I can't give a fuck less if Zoran Mamdani is making fucking groceries free, dog. So you have more comfortability in the fucking settler colony, my nigga. I don't give a shit. That does not change the foundational nature of the system that we find ourselves in. I am a fucking liberationist. I think that is where I diverge from a lot of you niggas. Like the Christian divines and shit. I'm a liberationist. I'm not a reformist. And in order to know what reform is, I suggest you read George Jackson.
On
That's all I gotta
capitalism, based on imperialism, that nobody in the world can reform a system like that.
This is my first time watching this shit. I was thinking of this shit on my way to class. Like, principled radicals who know what the fuck they're talking about will come to the same conclusions 9 times out of 10. It's because it's the same principle. If we actually know what the fuck we're talking about, it's going to be the same principle over and over. It's going to reproduce itself.
It's never been done in history, and I don't think it will ever be done in history. So that, to me, that was the most important reason why I joined the Black Panther Party.
Did you find that membership in the Panther Party helped you realize, or was it moving in the direction that you perceived that it was?
Well, actually, I had worked with the Black Panther Party before I joined it, and I had some problems with the style of work. I had problems with the type of rhetoric.
She used to be on ass. She used to be on ass about that shit, boy. She used to be on ass about the lack of criticism and self-criticism with the party, the lack of political education that a lot of the chapter, you know what I'm saying, had. She used to be a Huey ass. God damn. I just remember that shit, man. She despised Huey. Not despised, but you know what I'm saying. Like, she used to critique the fuck out of Huey, bro. And talk about how his political education used to go over a lot of niggas' heads.
A kind of like macho, if you don't relate to the Black Panther Party style, well, you know, I mean, it was that kind of thing, and I really liked another kind of style. Although I
and it's like from reading her book, her autobiography, like, it was saying, so like a lot of people, like, just for people that don't know, what caused a major rift in the formation of the BLA was the beef between, not even beef, it was manufactured tension between the West Coast chapters of the Panthers, like the West Coast head, and then in the NYC. You know what I'm saying? NYC, that's the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest fucking chapter. I think, if not in the party, I don't know if it's in the party, but it was one of, if it was not the biggest, it was second to the West. And Dhoruba was a leader. And what ends up happening is him and another comrade, they skip bond. Because Huey placed a bounty on they shit. Because of COINTELPRO. That's what actually happened. The FBI was sending letters back and forth and increasing tensions, and I believe Huey put, I don't know the specific number, but he put a bounty on Darube head. So he had to go underground. And it's seeing Assata have to talk about, bruh, I know Darube wasn't wrong. You feel me? Darube wasn't wrong.
Respectful, quiet way of relating to our people, of explaining things. And I didn't like that style, and I thought that sometimes it conspired against things that we were doing, and that I felt that that kind of, I guess, arrogant, macho kind of style was not good for day-to-day organizing in the black community. But at the same time,
we got fucking conscious leak. Bro, can niggas please, bro? Can I please, like, I'm getting off social media, bro. I'm off social media for the rest of the day, bro. I'm done. We got conscious fucking Lee, Mr. I eat dinner with Joe Biden himself, making videos talking about long. The same administration that doubled the fucking bounty on her head. You said and had dinner with my nigga. Like, bro. I can't with this nigga, bro. I can't, bro. I don't like that nigga, bro. I don't like that nigga, bro. That nigga's dangerous, dog. That nigga dangerous, dog. And niggas don't even see it.
Some events happened that made me,
man, fuck conscious, dog.
Really feel
Motherfuckers was just with Jasmine fucking Crockett. Like, stop fucking playing, bro.
Number one, the party, or any party, was as strong as the people that are in it, and that I felt that even though I had different problems with different things, that essentially I agreed with the 10-point program and platform.
Better housing, better education, a better dispensation of justice, better medical attention. We wanted black men to be exempted from the draft, military service in the war in Indochina. We wanted an end to the exploitation of the black community by white capitalists. Later on, we just said capitalists, right? We wanted an end to police brutality and the murder of black people by the police. That was point number 7. It turned out that we really didn't have time for anything but point number 7, because once we implemented that particular point by patrolling the community, and when the cops would come in their cars, and we would get behind them in our cars, and we would be armed, and when they stopped someone, we'd stop.
Such as walking in on the California State Legislative Session carrying rifles, negated everything else the group was trying to do. The Panthers were kept under police surveillance, and members like Assata Shakur found it increasingly difficult to conduct their other community programs.
Strange things began to happen around me that I couldn't put my hand on, I couldn't touch, you know.
Like?
Well, so many strange things would happen. We would get strange phone calls, strange packages, strange people would come into the office and have nervous breakdowns. I mean, it was one thing after another.
Yeah, bro, this was what happened when I was doing mutual aid last Saturday, bro. Like, undercover was just sitting out of in front of bro's house. Like, no bullshit. Like, we're loading the shit into the car. And then, yo, Luke, that's you? It is. Now, we loading shit into the whip. And all I see, cause all my homie see was, he was like, hey, bro, that's an undercover. And we look. It's an unmarked white car with a little police flashlight on it. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And then when he noticed him, the nigga just drove off. I'm like, bro. Y'all niggas crazy. Like, we wasn't gonna see y'all. That be the thing about police surveillance, bro. They gonna let you know they were watching, bro. They gonna let you know. You feel me?
There was the leadership was under such pressure because at that time, you have to remember that the FBI had made the Black Panther Party the #1 target of the COINTEL program. We didn't know anything about COINTELPRO per se, but it was obvious that the government was attacking the party in every way possible. It was obvious that it was just something strange. You couldn't, I mean, for example, you could not, became difficult. To go and sell up the paper, for example. We would send people out and they would stand on the corner and be selling papers, and 5 minutes later they would be at the police station. Why are you at the police station? For threatening a police officer. How did you threaten a police officer? We didn't do anything. We sold the paper. It was the cop's word against the Panthers' word, and the cops would always win. So it was like, in every aspect, it became difficult. The breakfast program came under attack for
feeding kids breakfast, bro. This shit is evil, dog. Feeding kids free breakfast and doing the you know what I'm saying? Like feeding children breakfast and doing sickle cell screenings is evil. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here, dog. Please. 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 Like, this shit is so evil. It's so comically fucking evil. You can't feed children. They made it hard to feed fucking kids. Bro, I can't, bro.
Supposedly showing little kids cartoons that were racist, that was said all white people are horrible, or something to that effect. Basically, that was the general idea. Later, we found out that those same cartoons were manufactured by the FBI, were inserted in Panther papers and distributed. I mean, that was the kind of thing that went on. But we, at that time, we were up against something. It's like you're up against this wall, but you can't see it. You can't touch it. You know that you're a target of the government's repression, but you don't know to the extent. We didn't realize the extent. I decided that I would leave the party, and I had not spent, I think, maybe a month outside, outside of the party, when it began to be obvious that I was the target of, like, the most extreme kind of surveillance that one could imagine. I mean, I lived on 138th Street. I'd look down in front of the building, and there would be two white guys reading the paper. One would read the paper for 15 minutes, then the other one would read the paper for 15 minutes. I decided that I would try to concentrate on my studies. I would just try to go on normal life, and then I would move. The reason that I wanted to move, because my whole house was bugged. And how I knew that it was bugged was that I was practicing on a tape recorder something one day, and the phone rang. So I put the tape recorder down, and I go answer the phone, and a voice says, "Stop making tape," and hangs up. And that was the kind of day-to-day thing I was dealing with. So the next thing, I mean, there was a big jump. The next thing I know, I'm walking down the street, and one of my comrades comes up and says, "Don't go home." What do you mean, don't go home? Do not go home. They just raided your house, et cetera, et cetera.
Shit working?
They just raided my house. Do not
Oh shit. I was finna say, bro, this shit was tripping for a solid like 10 minutes.
Huh?
No, nigga, this took me 10 minutes to fucking fix.
But nah, bro. Bro. Did this nigga just leave again?
No, I'm here.
Bruh.
Bro, I didn't even... I didn't even process what you said. Like you had sent me that text, and you said Asada's home, and I'm like, I literally just slipped past my mind. I'm sitting in class for another like 30, 45 minutes. I go back. I'm looking at your story. I'm like, wait, and then it started to click, and that's how the shit got put together. Mind you, I'm sitting in the AG class during this, bro. I was
American
heated.
government. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that's all. I was fucked up, bro. That shit had me hurt.
Right, nigga. I didn't even have none of my like black radical leaning classes today. Like I didn't have contemporary Black America, nor did I have race and horror, bro. So niggas was struggling, bro. I had none of my black professors today. I had 2 white people, bro.
Damn, CJ, what school you go to?
I go to SLU, folks. I go to SLU, folks. Oh shit, this Froggy. What up? I go to SLU, gang. St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis University. Cause I
Yeah,
don't
just
want
say
to be
that, bro.
saying that
Nigga,
shit, bro.
nigga, no,
Niggas
nigga, no,
straight.
hold up, bro. Nigga trying to be fancy. Talking about, nah, bro, I'm from the SLU, bro. I go to
Nah, bro,
SLU.
no,
Nigga,
bro,
shut
no,
up,
bro, no, bro.
bro.
Cause,
Shut
bro,
up.
niggas will straight clip this shit. Oh, we got his university. Fuck it. We finna tell the president what this nigga be saying. Like, bro. But I do live on campus, kid. Nigga, bro, if niggas walked in my dorm right now, bro. Woo! Niggas got the Black Panther Pan-African flag up with a Che Guevara flag, and I'm watching a Assata Shakur documentary, nigga. Motherfuckers gonna be outside my door every morning, bro. But yeah, bro, no, cause I straight had my classes today, bro. And it's like, since it's white people, bro, I can't even say, bro, not today, bro. I want to leave class. If it was my other classes, my professor would have understood, yeah, bro, CJ ain't coming in today, bro. So, yeah, bro, that's what happened, folks. I was on Twitter last night, and I saw, not Twitter, I saw Instagram.
Motherfucker, my bullshit.
No, you good, you
What
good.
that white dude was talking to me? He talking to his dog.
I had I had seen one of my mutuals post a story, RIP at Long Live Assata. I'm like, but what the fuck? I'm like, bro, stop playing, dog. I'm like, stop playing, bro. Assata ain't dead, my nigga. So I tweeted that, bro. I'm like, Assata not dead, bro. Stop playing, bro. Because we in the age of AI and data centers and shit. Niggas just stir shit just to say shit, bro. Because I know this was, like, rumors of her dying went around during her birthday. And I'm like, cuz, stop playing, bro. So what ended up happening is, I'm like, I had text one of my mutuals, Gray. They mentor is Daruba. So I was like, Gray of all people would probably get able to get down to the bottom of it. So I text Gray and at 8 a.m. this morning, it was still no confirmation for my end because I'm like, I'm not finna listen to random niggas on the internet, bro. I'm just not. And I was saying this earlier, bro. The way that the family was not able to make the first announcement, bro, was fucked up.
Who made the first announcement?
A motherfucking one of her quote unquote close friends, bro. I don't even know this nigga. It's some Randy nigga, dog. I'm like, bro, who the fuck is this? Cause everybody was posting it, bro. And I'm like, cuz, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, I ain't never heard of this nigga, bro. And what was pissing me off was, yeah, Andy Shalal. What was pissing me off was, niggas was asking for confirmation. Motherfuckers was asking for confirmation in the comments, and motherfuckers was like, the motherfucker was just liking it, and niggas was like, bro, what the fuck? Motherfuckers talking about good riddance, yeah, bro. Fuck your whole fucking lineage, nigga. So motherfuckers is like, cause nothing was changing on Wikipedia. You look her up, it still say she alive. We was like, the Cuban Health Ministry ain't said nothing either. So we like, bro, y'all bullshitting, bro. Because we do live in a day and age in which niggas will just say shit just for engagement. So after that, I'm like, cause he not even provide no real confirmation. So I'm like, I'm not finna believe this shit. So what ended up happening is I end up seeing the confirmation from Assata's daughter, and I'm like, yeah, bro, it's real. She passed away at 1:15 yesterday. I'm like, it's real. So I'm like, I'm not gonna be in denial about it no more. Because at first I was in heavy denial. I'm no, like I'm not believing this shit. But yeah, bro.
I'm be so
So I
fed
woke
up.
up because
I
I started
cried in
crying,
class.
bro. I got myself together. I'm like, I had made a tweet. I'm like, I don't feel like going to class today. I was like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna go to
No,
class,
nigga,
bro.
I let out tears in class. I'm dead ass.
I was trying so hard in class not to, bro. I'm so dead ass. Nigga, I was trying not, bro. I had to stop. If you check my video, bro, that I released on TikTok, I had to change angles, my nigga. I was changing angles. Bro, I had to stop recording because I was on the verge of fucking breaking down while recording, bro. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm like, I can't. I gotta, nah, bro. I gotta smooth it out. I gotta do it out. I'm not finna be crying on the internet, bro. That's just something I ain't finna be doing. So, yeah, for what ends up happening, gang, I end up just, you know what I'm saying, just going down memory lane, and that's where I get the. I sent it in the Discord. I sent it in the Discord. The post that Deruba made. You know, Lucas and Fraud. Hey, y'all know he took that. They took that shit in Cuba. They took this
Yeah.
photo in
That
Cuba.
pic?
Like, bro, they straight ain't give a fuck, bro. And it's like, damn, cuz, what other, like, you feel me? Like, damn, cuz, motherfuckers was just, how, well, Darubas lived in Ghana, so shit. He ain't really, he really don't got to go through the same processes, you know what I'm saying, as other people do. You know what I'm saying? If he still lived in America. But he still be back and forth.
And like, I was like paralyzed for some hours. You know, it was real. And then I'm faced with a decision.
Police raided your house.
Go home, find out what it's all about, go down to the precinct and say, I heard you just raided my house, and I want to discuss that, but I wasn't prepared to do that. I wasn't prepared to do that because of what was happening at that time. For example, the entire leadership of the Black Panther Party, 21 people were charged with conspiracy and were arrested and were put in prison. They were charged, and they were the New York Panther 21.
Conspiracy to...
Well, the charges were insane. They were like a conspiracy to blow up department stores on Easter, the time when the stores were filled with black people. I mean, the charges were so insane that it got to the...
Nah, in New York. Nigga said, I gotta see my phone. But nah, in New York, that's what they accused the Panthers of trying to blow up that shit.
Point that they were actually charged with blowing up or conspiring to blow up a botanical garden. The Bronx Botanical Gardens. I mean, that was the nature of the charges. And even though, after one of the longest trials in New York City history, a jury found them guilty in like an hour or something like that. I mean, found them not guilty, excuse me, in an hour or less. They spent 2 years of their lives in prison. They had a bail of $100,000 each. And at that time, the whole,
that's another thing that that caused the Panthers to go in disarray, like bonding niggas out, like having to raise fund to bond niggas out and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was telling you about that. You wasn't fucking with it though.
What are you talking about? You must have been talking to somebody else.
No. Like I was telling you about, like, nigga, taking the cases to the court and fighting the court cases, like in that scheme, you playing the court and you playing they literal court every single time, and that was like a big issue. Taking the BPP's like central planning committee and taking it that from something that was organizing on the ground into something that was like just a mainstream, like, which was partially becoming like a part of a mainstream political discourse of the time. And like actually, and like putting it and making it putting it in such a light where it can be like entirely co-opted into the system.
I mean, but
because
I'm talking more so in the case of lawsuits, like the courts, like you being able to have a better, like, fairer playing field. Because without the courts, my nigga, without the Ruba suing the government, we don't get COINTELPRO.
but COINTELPRO, I'm pretty sure the original leakings of the COINTELPRO and how they knew COINTELPRO existed to even sue for to like even like make these claims is because people had stormed an FBI building
Nah,
and they
it
just
was
took the
because
files
this what
themselves.
happened. This what happened. I was watching Daruba Libre. This what happened. So what happened was Daruba was fighting. This is after the cop conviction for the attempted murder of the two cops. He's fighting for his freedom, and he was like, he got a fucking old civil rights judge, a old federal civil rights judge, a black woman, and he said what ended up happening was that they had to bring all documents with Daruba's name on them to the forefront because they were concealing it. So
Into discovery.
Yeah, basically into discovery because they
Yep.
withheld evidence. This is how he even got his conviction overturned. It's because they withheld this illegal evidence, which then just fucked the whole prosecution up. Basically, they had to vacate the sentence because if they're getting illegal surveillance, they're getting illegal information, and then this illegal information resulted being a COINTELPRO, and he sued the government for like 800,000 on two separate occasions, like 400,000 here and then 400,000 there, and then he dumped the money right back into the community. So shit. That's how they got like COINTELPRO solidified, and then I believe they had documents on like Mark Clark and Fred Hampton too. They ended up like
My thing though is like, imagine you going crowdsource in the black community for 100,000, 500,000, so you can get a couple of people out of jail. You could have put that shit on the street and recruited 5,000 more niggas. That's all I'm
yeah,
saying.
of course.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying though,
And
like I'm not saying motherfuckers should focus on criminal cases. I'm saying civil shit. You know what I'm saying? Like civil cases are way easier because you're not in jail. You feel me? Unless you're in jail, but you get what I'm saying. Like unless you're in
because
jail.
the civil case, realistically, that's just a form for any peoples to simply handle it in the stage of what's considered like what is the limelight of the establishment.
Yeah, you
Any
can
two
hold them
like
accountable more so in there than a criminal case because most criminal cases end in just a sentence getting vacated for people like this. But yeah, it's a waste of their time. Like not a waste of their time, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to throw them into disarray, getting their best organized. I think Afeni's was actually lowered to 50. If I'm not mistaken, they got Afeni because she was pregnant. They got Afeni out and they got Daruba out because he was one of the best speakers.
The most common tools of repression that the government
Because it's in Still Black, Still Strong. Daruba also talks about another program that they had that to this day we don't know like how far that shit went to this day. So it's like, bruh, the surveillance state now, bruh, is probably crazy. But yeah, I want to pivot to this. I wanted to like actually be able to read this and digest with people in real time. So we reading.
I wonder. Oh no, I was gonna say some other shit. I'm just wondering what the fuck's in my Palantir profile, bro. This surveillance shit be crazy. I want to know what's in my Palantir profile, bro.
They probably got
and what you said, bro? No, what you were saying. What you were saying about an undercover being where you at when you was organizing?
Yeah,
nigga. I think actually you was no, I don't even remember when no, this was in After Pessimism. This was in the book, but when Frank went to Trinidad and Tobago when he was in college, the FBI had followed him there.
Yeah, bro. No, bro. I was actually
and they had the files that was released, and they had like redacted a bunch of the shit in that file. Bro, he writes about that in the book.
I was talking to one of my mentors today, who just so happens to be my professor. But what was I finna say? I was talking to him today, bro. He was telling me about bro, the FBI, bro, what people don't know is the FBI be having like niggas in departments in colleges and institutions and shit. And he said, bro, he said he was able to show him a book, a big ass book of just how far and how well connected the FBI is, not just domestically but all around the world. The nigga could go anywhere and meet up with other agents. So this is what I be telling niggas, bro. Like, bro, they know, bro. They know, nigga. Bro, if you don't think they know, gang. The feds is everywhere, bro. Everywhere, bro. That's why you gotta be careful. Damn near everything infiltrated, bro. So yeah, bro, the undercover was sitting outside bro crib. And niggas was just like, bro, what the fuck? Nigga just go. The nigga just left. Bro, undercover pulled up on me one time when I was hitting some gas in front of Mississippi River, cuz. It be strange shit like that, bro. They do that to fuck with your mind, bro. They do it to fuck with
Create
your mind,
paranoia.
bro. Huh?
Create paranoia.
Yeah.
That's when
So
they
niggas
do
can be
things.
paranoid and shit, and then niggas just start falling out and shit, and it do what you know what I'm saying, do what it do. But shit.
Thing is, bro, I'm prematurely paranoid already. I know. I'm
I mean,
already
just being black, nigga, just being black, especially a black man, nigga, you already in a state of paranoia if you pay attention to the fucking world around you.
pessimistic and paranoid.
Yeah, bro.
That's why I couldn't stand driving.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god, bro.
No, I be
I'm
thinking
glad
about
I
it,
ain't
bro.
been
I'm
pulled
like,
over because they like to play games over here.
I'm saying, bro, I be
Like
thinking
they
about it.
really don't have shit to do.
I could be driving right now. They could send a car and kamikaze me, bro. I'm
Bro,
out. I'm
that
out the game,
Palantir,
y'all.
bro. When niggas get self-driving cars, that Palantir software gonna infiltrate that shit, boy. Crash your shit,
Them SWAT cameras bad already.
bro. They
I
finna,
looked up one day, they was everywhere.
yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. Cause you
I'm
straight,
like,
they'll straight, bro. They'll straight pull right beside you, right. They'll pull behind you, especially at night, bro, and then just glare their lights at your shit, then drive by hella fast. Like, nigga, fuck you. Or this another thing they do. I bullshit. When I see a cop behind my ass, I legitimately go slow on purpose. You're not finna give me a shit. If the speed limit 30, I'm going 32. You gotta go around me. Motherfucker, what the fuck? I'm not gonna give you a reason. No. No. So, prisoner in the United States, Assata Shakur. On the night of May 2nd, I was shot twice by the New Jersey State Police. I was kept on the floor, kicked, pulled, dragged along my hair. Finally, I was put into an ambulance, but the police would not let the ambulance leave. They kept asking the ambulance attendant, is she dead yet? Is she dead yet? Finally, when it was clear that I wasn't going to die in the next 5 or 10 minutes, they took me to the hospital. The police were jumping me, beating me, choking me, and doing everything they possibly could do as soon as the doctors and nurses would go outside. I think she was also arrested to the bed. She talks about this in her autobiography. Yeah, like, bro, I don't think y'all realize, like, bro, they are able to do this shit, bro, and get away with it. Y'all don't understand the amount of trauma that Assata probably had to deal with in life. Like, do you understand, bro? She just got shot, and now they're jumping her, beating her, choking her, and they also SA'd her multiple times with the cavity searches and shit. These motherfuckers are sick. I was half dead. Hospital authorities had brought me in to a priest to give me the last rites, but the police would not stop torturing me. That went on until the next morning. When I was taken to the ICU, they had to calm down a little when I was in there. Then they moved me to another room, which was... This is the testimony of Assata Shakur, formerly Joanne Chesmar Malik, who was arrested on the evening of May 2nd, 1973, along with Suniyata Akoli and Zayd Malik Shakur, who was killed by the New Jersey State Police. Assata Shakur, who is now in exile in Cuba, was a member of the Black Panther Party and Black Liberation Army. Here she gives testimony regarding her treatment after being captured by the New Jersey State Troopers. Which was the Johnson Suite, and they closed off the exit from the hallway, so they could virtually control all traffic in and out. It was just open season on me for about 3 or 4 days. They turned up the air conditioning so that I was freezing to death. My lungs were threatening to collapse. They were doing everything so I could get pneumonia. Did the medical staff participate or acquiesce to this treatment while you were under their care? Some of them did. The first night there was a doctor who was just as bad as the state troopers. He said, "Why did you shoot the trooper?" He didn't know if I had done it or not, but he just jumped on me. Some of the nurses were very supportive. They could really see the viciousness of the police. One of them gave me a call button so I could call whenever the state troopers came into my bed. That way I was able to avoid being further beaten up. They had my legs cuffed to the bed, even though I was half dead and my leg was swollen. Some of the nurses protested the way that they had my foot cuffed. It was really bleeding and sticking into the flesh. Is it your opinion that were it not for the medical staff, the police authorities would have murdered you in the hospital with the complicity and compliance of certain doctors? That's definitely a possibility. These members of the medical staff that showed the human compassion towards you, were they black or white or both, black and white? The one who gave me the call button was a German nurse. She had a German accent. Some of the black nurses sent me a little package of books, which really saved my life because that was one of the most difficult times. One was a book of black poetry. The other was Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. And then a book about black women in white America. It was like the most wonderful selection that they could have possibly given me. They gave me the poetry of our people, the tradition of our women, the relationship of human beings to nature, and the search of human beings for freedom, for justice, for a world that isn't a brutal world. And those books, even through the experience, kind of just chilled me out. But let me be in touch with my tradition, the beauty of my people, even though we've had to suffer such vicious oppression. Those people in that hospital didn't know who I was, but they understood what was happening to me, and it makes you think about no matter how brutal the police and the courts are, the people fight to keep their humanity and can really see beyond that. How long were you at the hospital for, and how long did your state of medical deterioration last after your capture? I spent about 2 weeks at Middlesex County Hospital, and then I spent another 2 weeks in the Roosevelt Hospital for the chronically ill. I had 2 bullet wounds. I still had 1 bullet in my chest. I was paralyzed in this arm, and I had trouble breathing. So this was one of the most integral parts of her defense, and this is why her conviction was entirely political in the first place. She wouldn't have been able to fire a weapon due to her arm being paralyzed, her dominant arm being paralyzed. She couldn't do it because she got shot during the shootout. Um, I was paralyzed in this arm. I had trouble breathing. And after I was released from the second hospital, it took me a couple years to gain full use of my hand. I was not allowed physical therapy or medical treatment in the hospital. We had to get a court order for simple things like a rubber ball so I could squeeze my hand and teach myself how to use it again. And the only kind of exercise I was able to inquire was the instructions of the nurses. I asked them, "What can I do?" I was acutely aware that the prison system would do everything possible to frustrate my getting well again. The nurses would give me a towel, and even though I couldn't ring it up, they'd say, "Just try." So I would put my hand on top of it, and the police would come and take the towel away, even though I was cuffed to the bed. I didn't know what they thought I was going to do with the towel, but the towel wasn't the point. The point was just to do everything possible to make me suffer. So, is your experience that you were not given any recuperative or rehabilitative therapy for the wounds that you suffered on May 2nd, 1973? I was given some, but I mean, the state, the police, the DA's office, the FBI, I believe, did everything possible to frustrate my recovery. So, you had to get medical therapy as a consequence of legal litigation? My lawyers went to the court and said she has one arm that's paralyzed, but I never got physical therapy. We were able to get one team to come in and examine me on one occasion. That was it. The prison doctor would just take my arm and say, "Oh, that's perfectly fine. You don't have a problem." And this treatment for most things was laxatives. After the hospitalization came to an end, were you taken to the detention center or prison? Yeah, I was taken to the Middlesex County Workhouse. I was put in solitary. A cell which had a door of bars and outside was another big metal door. I was there from June into October to November. When I was taken to Middlesex County Jail in New Brunswick and put into a basement in solitary again, it was a men's jail, and I was the only woman there. Yeah, they put her in a men's jail, too. I was kept there, and I was taken out to New York to go on trial in December 1973. You were confined to your cell approximately how many hours a day? 24 hours a day. Motherfucker. In there all day, every day. All day, every day. Were you allowed contact visits? The rules were that you could have contact visits with immediate family and lawyers, but the police kept entering our conversations. They would just ignore the fact that they were supposed to be lawyer privileges or that it was a family visit. They would just be there and nothing we can do about it. Children were not even allowed to visit the prison, and it's real sad. You just hear the children during the visiting hour screaming their parents' names, and they just be outside the prison. You would just hear these little voices. It was painful. Mm-mm-mm. 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 So, I mean, it shows you that you really don't have rights. Like, attorney-client privilege is something I think is in the Constitution or some shit. Like, they could just say, "Fuck it, bruh," and just be like, "Bruh, we ain't finna do none of that shit, bruh. We ain't finna, we ain't talking about none of that shit, bruh. Like, we ain't finna honor none of that shit, bruh." Like, they can easily do that. Cause who's gonna hold them accountable for real, bruh? Like, who? Who? You know what I'm saying? If they don't, if, you know what I'm saying? If you're branded as a quote unquote cop killer, you feel me? Like, it ain't gonna be no, And then they be like, you got to fight us in the courts now for criminal trials and shit. Were you aware at the time there is a law in the U.S. that says attorneys and clients have right to confidentiality? Yeah, my lawyer and aunt, so one of her lawyers was her aunt. Evelyn constantly protested the conditions, but she was talking to deaf ears. She went to court. I don't know how many times to have a lawyer attorney visits respected with the door shut, but they were virtually in the room, and that room was bugged anyway. What do you mean by the term bugged? I mean that there were electronic listening devices when we were where we would meet. The guards would come around and say, "We know what you're saying." It was their way of saying, "We got it on tape anyway." So what? They can't use none of this shit in court either. So they're just doing this shit to be dickheads. Just doing it to be dickheads. In your view, did the combination of inadequate medical therapeutic attention and lack of confidentiality with your attorney impede your ability to defend yourself against the many state charges that were subsequently brought against you? Absolutely. My lawyers had to fight for such elementary things that they couldn't even deal with the case. The state resisted everything. Most of the energies they would normally be spending preparing for trial, they had spent filing suits even around the right for me to have a ball, to have medical attention, or even have food, which was the worst of any prison I've ever been in. The women protested the food. It wasn't just me that they bought this food to, but they said that it wasn't the cause of the protest, even though I was held in solitary confinement and could only speak to the women if I climbed up to the top of the bars and talked out of these little holes. Our whole attempt to prepare for the trial was frustrating on every level. Did you suffer any disciplinary procedures as a consequence of the protest? I was already in solitary, so the only thing they could do was just harass me, make my life more difficult. Did the other women suffer any disciplinary procedure as a consequence of trying to communicate with you? Excuse me. They were threatened in terms of the court cases that they were told I was a terrorist. I was accused of killing a New Jersey state trooper, and the police claimed that they had to keep me in solitary for my own protection. But the women didn't believe that. They did every little thing they could do to make me feel human. Could you tell us exactly what happened when you first went to the court in your trial? What were the charges that were brought against you, and exactly how did the state deal with prosecuting you in your particular case? The first trial that I participated in was a New Jersey trial. They put in a whole lot of other charges like armed robbery. I was supposed to have robbed the police of guns and then assault and a whole list of charges. But the main charges were the murder of New Jersey state policeman and wounding another. We were on trial. We were in the jury selecting process. When you say we, could you state exactly who? Sundiata Okola and I were on trial together. We had the same charges, and we decided that we would go to trial together. They didn't oppose that. Had you recovered from your wounds at this time? I was still wearing a brace for the broken clavicle, but the problem was mainly my right arm. I was basically paralyzed, and I was a wreck. I broken out in a rash. I was very thin. Anyway, we started the jury selection process, and in the middle of it, the trial stopped. It was postponed into January 1974. Why? Because it was found that there was such a racist climate in the jury room that the trial could no longer proceed. There was like a lynch mob atmosphere. There was no way we could receive anything resembling a fair trial. So they gave us a change of venue to another county, Morris County, where we were supposed to resume trial. Morris County happened to be 99% white and one of the richest counties in the state of New Jersey, as a matter of fact, in the whole country. What evidence was presented to indicate there was a racist climate at the time? There was no evidence presented, but the press had been trying me for years. I was turned into a monster. They pictured this vicious woman that goes around terrorizing police, this mad woman essentially. They had created this whole mythology in order to destroy me. They started building this whole campaign in the free press in 1970 to 71. The press were free to say anything, and the police, the FBI, the CIA were the ones who were feeding the press information. No one ever asked me any questions or even attempted to deal with the fact that we were human beings. People had a long history of struggle. It was just overwhelming, and people believed that. You notice there was a correlation between the information that the police had in their possession and the information and distortions in the press. It wasn't information. They were just fabricated things and fed them to the press. They would accuse me of having, I don't know, how many pending charges, and none of that was true. Anybody reading a paper would think that we have been convicted of committing so many crimes all around the country, and never was there a mention that we have ever been found guilty of a crime. You said that the trial was suspended because you could not get an impartial jury panel. Did you have the opportunity to select a jury your peers when the trial was recommenced? No, the jury selecting process, the jury selection process was biased. Most of the blacks that were prospective jurists were gotten rid of by the prosecution. Then people who obviously were prejudiced and obviously thought that I was guilty were included in the jury. At the second trial in New Jersey, there was a severance and I went to trial alone. The judge would say, well, can you put your opinion aside? Could you follow the law as I give it to you? Can you listen to my instructions and come to a verdict? Even though a poll was taken that showed 70% of the people in Middlesex County believed I was guilty and had heard of the case through media, the judge said that it was a fair trial and there was no prejudice. I was tried and convicted by an all-white jury, a jury that was clearly prejudiced in favor of the prosecution. This is what I'm saying. Another thing that be having people fucked up that are black when they go into these systems is the racist climate that's not taken into effect because the whole state itself is conscripted on this racism. That's what it is. So the right to a fair trial for real, for a lot of black people is just non-existent. You know what I'm saying? And it's even with the jury, your peers, a lot of these coon ass niggas love the police. It's already a politicized trial when you're talking about unaliving police officers, bro. This state puts billions of dollars into pro-police propaganda. If they label you as a cop,
And that shit work.
huh?
That shit work.
Yeah, it worked.
People love them cop shows. Like they eat that shit up bad.
Yeah, even with what was I finna say? Yeah, bro. Even with that, and then you also got like with the Luigi shit, bro. Like the fucking the media.
Nah, everybody riding on bullets apparently.
Yeah, bro.
That
Like
shit
that
blow
shit
me.
crazy. Shit crazy, bro. Like it's crazy how quick shit can get biased, bro.
I was writing on bullet casings before that shit was cool, bro. Fuck all that.
This is why I'm off Twitch right now, my nigga.
I'm just saying, bro. I was doing it before the shit was cool. Like,
yeah, bro. I used to be scared to touch bullets, kid. I'm like, give me the nitrile gloves, gang. Give me the gloves. I can't do none of this shit.
no, when my partner passed me his shit, nigga, I don't touch it. Shit, nigga, I don't even. I'll take the clip out. I'll be wiping off the top of it. Like, hold on, let me make sure my finger not on no casing right now.
Bro, I straight used to scrub. I used to scrub the bullets like with my shirt, bro.
Yes, exactly that. I will wipe this. I'm not leaving no print on no casing, nigga.
I'm like, this shit cannot come back to me.
No, I'm not taking the charge for this crazy ass nigga. That's for sure.
Bro, I got some gloves, bro. It got so bad, bro. My mama straight packed me gloves for school, gang. Bro, I got gloves for school, bro. Like, this shit serious. Bro, I'm trying to find them right now because I got gloves, gang. Like, real rap, real life. I'll find them, bro. I'll find them later. They somewhere around here. But yeah, bro. Like, I'm like, cause they hollow tips too. I'm like, motherfucker, wiping that shit off, nigga. But yeah, bro. But nah, bro. Yo,
no, bro. Actually,
y'all, bro. Y'all heard Kamala Harris was at Howard today, bro.
It's like every time she talk, they start talking about leftists infighting.
It's not even
what?
That. It's not even that, cause you disrespectful motherfucker. You go to Howard to talk about black excellence on a day like this? Like, what the
matter of fact, we should read chapter 2 of A Nation on No Map so we could talk about black excellence for real, because that's all bullshit.
Hold on, let me see if I got it downloaded, kid. I think I do.
Now, chapter 2 is a great critique on black capitalism.
No.
Great critique on it.
No. I don't got it. It's not a PDF. It's not a PDF
online.
It's not a PDF online.
Fuck.
They did? What? No. Hey, cuz. We gonna have to do what it
Shit,
do.
I could.
Hold up.
I can low key read it. I got the book in my hand.
Hold up. Let me turn off my screen real quick. Can't reveal my secrets.
Hmm? Nigga say y'all can't see what I have downloaded.
Cuz, why isn't it loading? Cuz, I'm finna get pissed off. I'm finna get pissed off. Cuz, what the fuck is going on, bruh? Bruh. They fucking with my sauce, bruh.
CJ on the slew Wi-Fi.
I am on the university. Damn! They straight fucking with me! For real! They talking about this site can't be reached. Yes, I can. I've done it before. Man, fuck this shit. We ain't finna play y'all games, nigga. We ain't finna play y'all games.
I'm a net runner for real.
Matter of fact, the opening of this chapter is what a quote of from Assata.
Go ahead, read it.
Part of struggling is learning, is studying. My own experience in the 60s led me to understand that it wasn't just enough to ask for a piece of the pie. The whole liberation of oppressed people in the United States had to do not with climbing up some ladder to success, not for asking to be just like Rockefeller or just like DuPont or just like Ford, because that would only continue the oppression and exploitation of oppressed people in the United States, and specifically African people born and raised in the United States.
Amazing. Amazing. Motherfucker. It's called A Nation with No Map, right?
A nation on no map.
Okay, A Nation on No Map. Here's what we finna do right now.
But it basically goes into like how it starts to talk about like how there's almost an attempt to like restore our own history as black people with like fantasizations of what
Yeah.
our empires in Africa were like, right? And it basically says that our association to these ideals of royalty and trying to be like, oh, we were kings or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is not going to be a liberatory process, because
It's
the
reproduction of
association
monarchy.
of right, and the association of human value being tied to things like lineage and wealth and like what we've already ascribed to, what like this is like the capitalist way of thinking, is that the wealth is what makes a person valuable. And when we actually think about how like the slave trade starts because there were issues in Africa, like not every single, some empires had issues, they had
Of course.
contradictions,
They
right?
had issues, they had tribalism, they had, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the people who were sold were POWs. You feel me? They were prisoners of war. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those things in which that's just how shit go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't view each other as black. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a formulation of race as we know it. So this is why when motherfuckers be like Africans sold Africans or black people sold Africa, you know what I'm saying? Black people sold black
No, you're
people.
right.
Not just that though, but you know how you remember how we was reading when the king, I think it was the king of the Congo, or I don't remember who, but they were writing back and forth with Portuguese colonizers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they talk about like how, hey, you're using too many of our people, and are like we're just like we're running out of niggas now, feel me?
Mm-hmm.
When we think of it like, okay, so clearly he sees some of the people who are going into this are coming from the empire as citizens of that empire. The reason that the reason this is happening though is because slavery to in a lot of African empires was nothing, it was not the same. It was a
It was
process of
more
servitude.
indentured servitude than anything.
Right. Not even that, because servitude in and of itself was a whole different concept, right? Like the whole idea of a lot of these peoples were communalistic in nature. And one of the things that a part of the communalist like philosophy that we can assume existed, especially due to the fact that they didn't have words for ownership in a lot of these areas and regions, is that they shared time. Like time in and of itself wasn't something that a person, their life, their temporal like existence wasn't something that was individualized, but it's something that was shared and collective. Your relationships, they understood that the relations you had is what made up your life and prolongs your existence. Your perception in community is what your reality is. And that was something that was attached to the philosophy of African kingdoms. So when they would sell slaves, quote unquote, they weren't selling slaves like in some fucked up system. They thought they were helping out Europeans, like, oh, you guys need more workers, you guys need some more help. We share all our stuff anyways, so we can share some of our laborers with you. That was some shit that was actually happening. That's why a lot of slaves weren't stupid. They were really smart, like people of status from actual empires, which were massive. That were like that they thought they was just doing some service for the world for in a lot of instances
Yeah, that's
because it was
another
just
thing.
servitude.
That's another thing. Like niggas thought they was gonna be able to come back too.
Right.
Like that's another thing.
And
Like
this is
motherfuckers
a
thought they was coming back, and then when they never came back, it was just like, oh,
and you know what I think it is that's what when I was talking about setting up the infrastructure with the air, like the Arab slave trade, setting up the infrastructure is that the Arabs had that system of servitude in which they were like exchanging laborers for a long time. When the Europeans came in to do slavery, they were building on the system. Africans were assuming it was a similar logic to the actual simply like the simple service that was attached. Aside from the fact that Afro pessimism does start with like that shit, but like it wasn't the same shit. There's extra context to it. I'm getting mad now. I'm getting mad.
oh my god, bro, they still don't got my cuz they still not getting back to me about my Charlie Kirk shit, bro. They really don't like that shit, bro. They're like I straight stuck it
What
out,
happened?
bro. Hmm?
What happened?
They took down my video
Oh
for
no, he was talking shit.
Yeah, I was talking the shit about Charlie Kirk, bro. And then they said you'll receive a final notification by September 26th. It's September 26th, motherfucker. They gonna wait. They gonna wait. They gonna wait to give me my shit back, bro. I'm downloading the
This
next shit.
dude probably go
Hopefully it
crazy too.
download while I'm still live, cuz. But yeah, cuz.
If anything, I'll just read the first few pages because we don't even need to get like we don't even need to finish the chapter. The shit it gets good quick.
All right, go ahead.
This book wastes no words. Every single line is important in this book.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, bet. So this is after the Assata quote. Should I just reread the Assata quote?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, part of struggling is learning, is studying. My own experiences in the 60s led me to understand that it wasn't just enough to ask for a piece of the pie. The whole liberation of oppressed people in the United States had to do not with climbing up some ladder to success, not for asking to be just like Rockefeller or just like DuPont or just like Ford, because that would only continue the oppression and exploitation of oppressed people in the United States, and specifically African people born and raised in the United States.
Yeah.
And this is now William C. Anderson starts. It's been clear for generations now that one of the central barriers to overcoming our oppressive conditions is the popular idea of success. The notion that if we work hard enough, things will be fine enough to cloud the realities. Under capitalism, in order to be at the top, many others have to be on the bottom. How we define liberation and freedom matters, and the fact that many people have been deceived into thinking accumulating vast amounts of wealth or fame means being free is something we must combat. Royalty, fame, and celebrity to some degree dictate power in the society, but they are not liberation and they can never bring freedom. Believing this myth feeds into a form of counter revolution that the state uses to stabilize itself and keep people invested in its existence. If it's the state that we must unravel to achieve liberation, then we must take away the weapons it uses against us externally and internally. Deeper observation instructs us to not only think past these things in the present, but also in our understandings of the past. Since we live in a society in which virtually everything revolves around money, our relations to one another often mimic the exploitative logic that reigns over us. If you've ever been poor, been down bad, and been in the mud, perhaps it's made you so upset that you wish money didn't exist. On the other hand, plenty of people believe that by achieving personal wealth, they can trickle some of it down to others, giving back to the community and quote unquote raising people up. For them, philanthropic giving is the way for us to achieve some sort of freedom. They hope to become billionaires, oligarchs, and damn near royalty As a way out of hell, so many of us are trapped in. As a way out of the hell, so many of us are trapped in.
And niggas
Of
want to talk.
course,
And
most
niggas
of
want to
us
talk about China, bro. Like, god damn, bro. Y'all niggas annoying. God
Of
damn.
course, of course, most of us will never achieve such wealth because it's already being hoarded by those who control it presently, the ruling.
Hello, bro, bro.
Yo,
Did Palantir just get this nigga?
Oh, I
damn.
got a call. I got a call. I got a call.
I was gonna say.
Tripping. Uh, the desire to be wealthy poses a barrier to collective liberation, allowing capitalistic relations to infect our movements. Even those who don't necessarily think money is the way out often place themselves in proximity to celebrities, wealth, and institutions that do. True liberation calls for the much needed abolition of poverty and oppressive wealth, which requires an end to the compromising relationships our movements have with with fortune. For those of us whose ancestors were enslaved, there is a very troublesome aspect to all this. As people who descended from those who were designated property, we are still treated with a disrespect that seems almost inescapable. Often people long to recover their connection to the past, to know more about ancestry and the experiences of those who had virtually everything about their identity violently suppressed. This may lead some people to create their own polished versions of our history, like the mainstream movement narratives that minimize black radicalism in favor of reformism. Some selective versions of black history prioritize mythological tales of African royalty and African homogeneity. There is, I believe, a very close connection between this and positive attitudes toward individual accumulation of wealth. For generations, Black America has heard a wide range of stories about how we ended up in the United States. Black movements like those led by the Nation of Islam have taken a religious approach to tackling our origins, while others have sought to uncover our supposedly universally aristocratic and royal genealogies. The narrative that we are all descended from kings and queens is disturbing. Emphasizing African royalty as something to take pride in reproduces the notion that wealth and power is what determines a person's value, um, is what determines a person's value. Even if the kingdoms whose rulers we all supposedly descend from predate capitalism, they still contain relations in which hierarchy and domination gave people their value. It was putting a monetary value on people's heads that drove slavers to put people in chains in the first place. Feeding into this sort of irrationality will not free us of them. At various times, we've seen the odd embrace of Egypt as a main source of our Black origins and the great
Oh
neglect
my
of the
god.
actual.
Hey. I've told you about this shit, nigga. I've told you about that shit, nigga. I've told you, nigga. I've said this shit before, bro. The hyper focusing on Egypt is rooted in Eurocentric notions about Africa.
Are you not bullshitting? That shit get me so weird too.
Bro,
Niggas
the
be so
hyper
obsessed with like an
focusing on
Exodus history, and
Egypt.
it's like, bro, this is a script you could apply to anybody. I think you just want to be delivered, bro.
My shit with Egypt
You
is
just want to
like
come back to Africa.
my shit is with Egypt though. The only reason why a lot of niggas view Egypt as valid is because they took Egypt out of Africa. They made it a European civilization, effectively. To a lot of people, Egypt is a European civilization. I'm dead ass. They think King Tut white.
Oh yeah, that Ptolemaic dynasty took over towards the end, right?
Yeah, like
My bullshit.
they hyper focus on motherfuckers like Cleopatra. No, they were Africans, but in terms of West African and Central African history and their descendants, the hyper focusing on Egypt is rooted in Eurocentric notions because Egypt was taken out of Africa. They hyper focus on motherfuckers like Cleopatra, who's not even indigenous.
Yeah, she was Macedonian or something.
Yeah, she was Greek. She was Macedonian. She's from Ptolemy. When they came and colonized. You know what I'm saying? So, bruh. But continue reading, Lucas.
Oh, we've seen the odd embrace of Egypt as a main source of our Black origins and the great neglect of the actual places where our ancestors primarily come from. West Central Africa, Senegambia, and other important locations that the Atlantic slave trade prioritized are regularly ignored by those who choose to embrace fictional origins. Our lives are not fairy tales. The fact that we've been inundated with media that glorifies the supposed magic of royalty may be partially to blame, but dealing with such mystification requires us to travel across time, place, and status to see ourselves more clearly in the present. Undoubtedly, one reason people want to believe we're all descended from royalty is due to an aversive reaction to oppression and subjugation. Our inability to acquire full citizenship has helped mischaracterize black people as a people without culture or origins, despite the monumental achievements of enslaved Africans to not only survive the Middle Passage but also innovate, invent, and establish themselves in an unfamiliar land. There are efforts to define black people through the priorities of capitalism. Attempts to feel better about ourselves shouldn't rely on narratives that side with oppression and dominance. We don't need to portray ourselves or our lineage in relation to royalty to show we're worthy of respect. We already are, as people, deserving of dignity, without laying claim to some hierarchical position within a nation, kingdom, or tribe. The desire to depict black people as esteemable through wealth and nobility in response to racism is self-defeating. Reliance on stratification and terror on ranking human beings fed into the slave trade that in turn became an engine of capitalism. We need to collectively interrogate our own origins in these violent circumstances. There certainly are some black people in the United States who can legitimately claim some type of royal heritage, but that's an unreliable foundation for resistance in the present. Even if there were those who fought the transatlantic slave trade while defending kingdoms and dynasties on the African continent, structures they were defending aren't necessarily ours to claim now. We uh we should be able to appreciate the complexity of why some people rebelled in favor of those structures, while being critical and true to our politics, which might not agree with such things today. Black populations throughout the Americas are made up of people descended from those who could have already been servants, prisoners, and slaves in the lands they were taken from before arrival. Imagine if their versions of citizenship or belonging were already compromised. Many of us could be descended from someone who was subjugated in their homeland before being forced to come here to face a new form of subjugation, only for us to pretend they were of some royal bloodline to serve our own fairy tale. I laugh at my for I laugh at my former childish fantasies, writes the great poet
Like we
Amy.
descend from regular. Most of us descend from like regular people, bro. Like the odds of you actually descending from fucking Mansa Musa are one in a lot. like nigga, the you know what I'm saying? Like other niggas that were kings and shit and noblemen, the odds they all stayed. Their descendants are still in Africa right now.
At best, you could be related to like a priest at that time before they get
Yeah,
like
like high
converted or
priest,
wiped out.
priests, just regular people, just regular everyday people. Like that's most of where we come from, bro. Like
I
nobility.
laugh at my
No, you
oh
go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I laugh at my formal childish fantasies, writes the great poet Amy Cesar. No, we've never been Amazons of the king of Dahomey, nor princes of Ghana with 800 camels, nor wise men in Timbuktu under Askia the Great, nor the architects of Djinn, nor Madis, nor warriors. We don't feel under our armpit the itch of those who in the old days carried a lance. And since I have sworn to leave nothing out of our history, I, who love nothing better than a sheep grazing in his own afternoon shadow, I may as well confess that we were all at times pretty mediocre, dishwashers, shoe blacks, without ambition, at best conscientious sorcerers. This shouldn't be taken as an insult. What is disrespectful, though, is assigning all our ancestors a royal status, thereby erasing many lived realities in order to make ourselves feel better at their expense. In any case, Black Americans must confront the truths about who we actually are now, rather than fabricating counterproductive tales about who we were then. The weight of the oppression we endure today will not be lifted by reaffirming the same falsehoods about success about what constitutes power, about raising ourselves above others that have forged the steel of cages we have yet to break free from? What if our ancestors hated the very sorts of people some work to try to turn them into? What if we're descended from people we wouldn't necessarily be proud of, people who did horrible things? There is no single uniform rendering of the ancestors. Any attempt to create one is misleading, if not an outright fabrication. Hortense Spillers made a stunning point about this in Arthur Jaffa's film Dreams Are Colder Than Death. And he says, "When I say that this is an o- an Oedipal crisis, well, no, no. When what I say is that this Oedipal crisis gets buried in the middle passage, and that going back to confront the fathers who put us in the trade would be to confront the original sin, the relationship to the past, to the fathers, to the ancestors. Some of you helped me put me here. How do we solve that? Or how are we going to talk about it? The problem is intramural rather than cross-racial. Fundamentally, an intramural problem between generations between generations of Africans. And the slave trade gets in there, turns the picture around, and somehow we've got to find our way back to this original dilemma, what we think of as a crime. And not a lot of people want to talk about it. The slave trade required European and African operatives, and you're never going to tell me a different thing. And then William continues. He says the evils of slavery can be addressed without assigning grandiose characteristics to our ancestry. We don't have to pretend that a horrific situation wasn't complicated. It absolutely was. There was a collaboration between Africans and Europeans to enslave rivals, enemies, and prisoners. That is a known fact. But my interest here is analyzing how intentional misremembering can affect the present. Overlooking the dangerousness of the modes of domination that collaborated with the slave trade is risky. This narrative that we are royalty fallen from grace may actually help maintain certain forms of oppression.
Yo, yo,
It's a
yo,
form of
Lucas, yo,
thinking.
yo, Lucas.
Yeah.
Hold up, gang. Hold the fuck up. Hey, cuz. This nigga Maven is weird, bro.
Nigga, what are you saying? I thought you were about to say something about the butt. Nigga, what are you saying?
No, bro. Like, nah, dog. I think, bro, I gotta, dude. I gotta handle this my damn self, bro. This nigga wrote, hold on, no. I'm finna just put this in the Discord and put this on the stream, dog. What the fuck am I
Wait,
looking at, bro? I'm so
wait,
sorry, cuz.
wait.
No, dog. This shit, nigga, what the fuck? Bro, I feel unsafe. I feel unsafe, bro. Why did you delete your account? My Marxist consciousness is so developed. Anarchists, liberals, Maoists, and Trotskyites are afraid and unable to debate me or even respond to me. I did my victory lap when I destroyed CJ. There is nothing left for me on leftist TikTok. I'm the king of Marxism on TikTok. Now it's time for me to be me. Nigga, what?
You know what, bro? You know what? That nigga can be the king of Marxism. I left that school of thought. I left that shit. I left that shit because there's certain Marxists who let this nigga sit at their table, bro. That's what I'm saying. I I ain't even in a part of that game no more, bro. I ain't even with them niggas no
Man,
more.
cut this nigga bite, bro. What the nigga said rage bait? Nigga said who are you? Like what the nigga, who the fuck do you think you is, bro?
No, he's just pranking us, bro. He has to be.
Bro, he's not a real person. This nigga said I destroyed CJ in a debate in which I didn't even engage with him because he's a fucking groomer.
How much you think Interpol pays him a year?
Huh?
How much you think Interpol pays him a year?
Bro, I gotta be giving that nigga big bank, bro. Like, alright, bro. Like, bro. Bro, this how you know, bro. Bro, the fascists are sending their best at my ass. Alright. What the fuck? But nah, I think what you conveying, like what the book is conveying, I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna take my laptop to my mama's crib. I'm gonna download it, then we can read it. I'm gonna probably go live on either tomorrow or Sunday, and we can read it and actually like visually digest it too, because I wholeheartedly agree with a lot of these concepts. I was talking about this earlier before you came. But as radicals, we're going to come to a lot of the same conclusions if we are principled. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why, nigga, you've heard me talk about Egypt. And why I don't really fuck with Egypt, for real. It's because I can recognize certain shit and clock certain shit as a radical, and it's like, I don't dissent from that shit, bro. Why are we attaching ourselves to a sense of monarchism? That's Eurocentric in itself. That's what Europeans uplift. Why should we just mimic that shit? I laugh on my days
What
of
you
doing the
mean,
same
bro?
shit.
We was kings, bro. What you mean?
But I cannot
We was pharaohs.
I cannot believe that Maven shit, bro. Like, the thing
Yeah,
the
that's
thing is
the pharaoh of Marxism. No, that's crazy. He called himself a Marxist king. Let's really think about this
a
one.
Marxist king. I'm the king of Marxism on TikTok. Nigga, what? Niggas, bro, you know how bad niggas said, who the fuck are you?
You know, at first he was talking about some Marxism that allows capital. Now Marxism got monarchy. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, you don't know?
No, he actually did make that take at one point. He did make the take that there is there is monarcho communism. That's a
Bro,
thing. He
that's real
actually thinks
nigga. It's real niggas that are monarcho-socialists. I'm so dead ass. It's
nigga,
monarcho-socialist.
just claim National Socialism, nigga. What are you doing all that extra shit for? Like, what you doing all that extra shit for? And bow down to your Führer, bro.
Nigga, bourgeois socialism. I'm dead ass, bro. I'm dead ass, bro. This is something that niggas
Socialism for
clocked
the
back then, bro.
bourgeoisie. Socialism for the bourgeoisie. This is how niggas was feeling this is how English nobles were feeling when they passed the Magna Carta, nigga.
Bro, this is what Lenin want for real. That nigga Lenin want for real. Yeah, they got their own flag and all that shit. So that. But this nigga, he was the same nigga who called Justin Scott James Baldwin. I never want to see another fucking video from this nigga again, bro. But you know,
bro, Justin Scott doesn't have a fucking politic, bro. That nigga.
He better not fucking make a video about Assata. I know he is, but he better not make a fucking video. And you know the thing about this whole thing is, I'm seeing niggas who said political violence was never okay. I'm seeing these niggas post Assata. I'm seeing niggas who was just dick riding Obama, even though Obama doubled the bounty on Assata's head. Talk about some RIP sister. I'm saying, do you know Nene? Do you know Nene fucking the motherfucking Starbucks motherfucker reposting Assata? Talking about Assata.
Wait, Nene.
Yes, motherfucker,
like,
the devil.
Wait, hold up. Was this did they make the video about Beyonce and the Buffalo Soldiers?
I think Nene did, but Nene was the one. She was the one that was scrambling when the Accountability Archive came out. She was one of the main ones. She got the braces and she's still throwing up gang signs. Hold up, cuz. Her shit throwing up 2 crip. Where is that? Cause I dare remember having to make this shit, bro. Clean my switch, my shit won't fail. Got 2 complex blocks. Turkey but send shit to heaven. Okay. Bot been gone, so I been restless. This Nene, bro. Check Discord. He's the king of marketing.
Yeah.
Bro,
Wait.
Shit about Assata, bro. Bro, when I tell you me and Gray was just talking about, I'm like, good, we finna see the liberals come out. Jamila Bell talking about some RP Assata. Like, y'all motherfuckers are fake. I'm not gonna lie. When I started seeing them niggas say shit, bro. You know who voice came in my head immediately? Lucas.
Whose voice? Wait, I was trying to put it together in my head, but just answer.
Nigga, the Ruba voice came in my head, bro. The first thing that came in my head was when that nigga the Ruba said, "Y'all don't know a damn thing about Assata." Why is niggas? What the fuck? Hey, bro, change the thumbnail of this shit, please. Like, bro.
Bro, you know what I'm low key tired of though?
What?
I can't cap. Like, cause I had seen one of the some on IG. I posted some shit like this, but they said Assata Shakur's or no Tupac Shakur's Tupac Shakur's godmother has passed away. It's like
Yeah,
first
that's
off,
reductive. Nigga, no.
that nigga Tupac is Assata
Godson, nigga.
Shakur's son.
Nigga.
That nigga
What the
Tupac is
fuck
his
are
son.
niggas
Let's get this
making,
shit
bro?
straight.
Bro, look at the screen. What are niggas making? What type of racist bullshit is this? Yeah, bro. Not interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna just. You know what? I'm gonna just. I need to apologize to the Obamas because you know what, the shit that they went through. Because this shit just reminded me of all the shit Michelle Obama went through, bro.
Yeah. Motherfuckers masculizing Assata Shakur. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Making AI, like, bro, y'all niggas weird, bro. And then the digitally altered shit that niggas making and shit, like, bro. Black liberation icon, like, bro. You know they call her an anti-racist activist? I'm so dead. I'm not playing, bro. I'm not playing. Nigga, look. Anti-racist activist and freedom fighter Assata Shakur passed away yesterday. We honor Assata's life and legacy as tireless champion of the people and a symbol of hope and resistance for millions around the world. In urgent fight against racism, police brutality, U.S. imperialism, and white supremacy. Assata's unwavering commitment to the liberation of her people continues to inspire generations. Since '84, Assata has lived in Cuba, which granted her political asylum in accordance with international law. Thanks to Cuba, Assata was able to live free from racist persecution in the United States government and its relentless attempts to hunt her down. Anti-racist activist.
I got critiques on Cuba, but you know what? They did that one little thing right.
Yeah. They did that one.
They did that one little thing right.
They did that one thing. Like Assata has told y'all niggas what she is so many times, bro. I don't think at one time of her life she called herself a fucking anti-racist activist, bro. This shit ain't she wasn't no fucking social worker, bro. Bro, what Hamza said, bro. Fucking, she's a fucking revolutionary. The fuck? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Bro, it's pissing me off, bro. Bro, it's pissing me off, bro. And then, bro, what was I finna say? Cause like, I don't even know, bro. Like, this is a big blow. But it's one of them things, like I just said, bro. I'm gonna say this for my watch later. I want to see what this look like. It's one of them things, dog, that like I said, bro, she was able to go as free as she could be. She was able to go in a state that you feel me? She was able to go in a state in which she was at peace. She wouldn't have been at peace if she was still behind bars. Leave it up to them, they would have killed her, bro. They would have killed her. So I'm forever not, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just forever remember that, like, hey, she died free.
You know, she died free, but I say that, you know, for the struggle for us to rest in peace is a part of that liberation project that, you know, we inherit from sisters like Assata. Feel me?
Yeah.
And when we continue to fulfill and prolong and protract that struggle, that keeps her alive. That puts her at ease.
She's never gonna die as long as her her thoughts, her concepts, as long as we keep living out her mission, as long as we should keep her name alive in the way that it should be, she's never gonna die.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. We could rename Jacksonville after post Rev. We gonna rename Jacksonville to Assata.
Nigga, post Rev, a whole lot of places on the map finna be looking different. Niggas gonna have a motherfucking Sekou.
I was gonna say I'm on no Dinga Drive right now. Nigga, I'm on no Dinga Drive.
Nah, bro. Imagine that shit now, kid. Like not like under the state now. Like if they name some shit like that, bro. Like like, cause I told niggas this shit, bro. If you ever find yourself on an MLK, heaven for fucking bid, you're on Malcolm X Boulevard. Get the fuck out, bro. Get the fuck out, bro. Nigga, Malcolm X Boulevard, nigga. Rosa Parks Lane and shit. Bro, they purposefully make bro, that is a mockery of MLK's legacy. They make every single like street that's named after MLK in the States, they make it terrible on purpose. Like, they make it terrible on purpose. Every MLK is terrible.
Not just that, bro. It's that they already segregated these neighborhoods when MLK was alive, when MLK was doing the work. Like the South Side of Chicago has been the South Side of Chicago since the 60s. After that, then they just went to every ghetto. They found the busiest street in every ghetto, and then they gonna name it after MLK.
But
that's what they did. They went to every ghetto and just gave us the MLK street.
It be the dividing line too for a lot of this segregation in MLK Street. They be mocking niggas, bro. Like in St. Louis, MLK was a dividing line for a hot minute until they extended this to Delmar now. But at first it was MLK. North of MLK, South.
Maybe I'm tripping, but ain't O Block attached to MLK? Isn't that?
That's King Drive. That's 64th
yes,
and 65th of King Drive. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. The King is from MLK. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then you go up, and then like you get other hoods that's affiliated with them. But yeah, like 600, that's on King Drive. Like King Drive is long as fucking Chicago. But yeah, bro. Like, O Block is on MLK. Think about that shit.
Maybe separating shit with the historical district, bro. They'll take half a line of houses from the burbs, a line of houses from the hood. They'll name that shit MLK and they'll call that the historical district. Gentrify the fuck out that bitch and push all the niggas on the other side of that. They not getting in the suburbs.
But shit, I'm finna have to go get my whip. I'm gonna be on here probably tomorrow, Sunday. So yeah, bro. Long live Assata, man. I'm still fucked up about that shit. I'm gonna be fucked up. Hey, bro. At least I get my Zot back. So shit, I'm gonna be fucked up about this for a minute, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I ain't trying to conversate with none of you niggas, bro. It's time, bro. It's a shift, bro. It's a shift. It's time, bro. But I